guys, welcome to the Voices Gathering Live podcast show with your host, Diamond. That's right, it's me. Hello, 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 my supporters. Where are my beautiful gems at? Hey guys, new week, new show. New week, new show. Come on in. Come and talk to me in my Jodeci non-voice. Come talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Today is an interesting conversation. And once again, it is one that needs to be had, right? So as always, I want to give people enough time to just come in and join the conversation. Soon as I see a few people, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Wow, new week, right? You just got to take your breath, slow things down, and just be grateful. Just be grateful, just be grateful, appreciative and grateful. So even before I start this chat, if you're in the chat, just take a deep breath and exhale. Deep breath. Exhale. One more time. Deep breath. Exhale. Okay. I needed to do that because everything wasn't working as I planned it. But guess what? You just got to roll with the resistance. Acknowledge there's frustration, disappointment, whatever it is you're feeling. Give yourself permission to feel it without reacting to it and work yourself through it. That is what you have to do. I know that's what I had to do. Okay, house rules. As always, we keep it 100 on this show. So we like to keep it real. Real talk. That's what we do here. On this platform, we have real talk, real conversation, real transparency, authenticity, and what? Keeping an open mind. Very important, right? And you know that you can follow us on all these platforms here. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, where you are today. And how do you get to the YouTube channel? Well, let me help you out, because all you got to do is come right here. Yep, there's my name, my website information, as well as my email address. Email me if you have any questions. Please don't hesitate. I think people kind of hold back because for whatever reason, but I create a Q&A portion of the show. You have the chat section to be able to post your questions, even a comment to what it is being stated on the show, as well as other comments to other people. I create that space so you can just talk. So please talk, get involved. I respond to those comments. So if you go back to previous show, you'll see me in the comments responding to each individual. The numbers are quite low, which is not my goal. My goal is by December, especially the new year of 2023, I hope to have 1,000 subscribers. That's a stretch, but it's not impossible, because each and every one of you who come to this show, if you would not find it robbery to click the share button and share this show on your social media feeds, as well as when you come, if you invite 2 to 3 people, my numbers will grow. Now listen, it doesn't mean that I'm not doing good work. That's not what that means. It just means that the viewers are not sharing the work, and I encourage you to share it. As always, there's that beautiful thumbs up. Use it. The thumbs up tells me you are getting the content of this show. You understand it. There's a thumbs down button. If you want to use that, use it. But don't click thumbs up or thumbs down without posting a comment. Because the thing is, I don't know who you are when you do that. So let's be respectful of the rules of the house, and let's start talking to one another. All right. So as you can see from the topic today, I wanted to talk about the virtuous woman. I did. That's what I want to talk about. So let's talk about it. Okay. So I have been waiting to have a conversation with the viewers, you guys on this platform, about just what I'm seeing in social media, in the community, just everywhere. I have been noticing for a very long time some things that is very disturbing to me, and it may be to you as well. I invite the men who do watch this show to also comment, because this has a lot to also do with you. a lot to do with you. It's not just the woman. Although I'm talking about women today, this has a lot to also do with the men, right? So get involved. Virtuous women, a virtuous woman. What is a virtuous woman? Do anyone know what a true virtuous woman is? And if you know what a virtuous woman is, would you be able to recognize her in your community? Would you be able to recognize her in your social group? Would you just be able to recognize a virtuous woman? Because I have the definition of what a virtuous woman is, as it is on the from a biblical stance. And just because I'm referencing this virtuous woman from the biblical stance, this conversation is not about the biblical virtuous woman. Although, how could you separate the two? Check that. How could you separate the two? If you know what a virtuous woman is, and if you look at the definition per the Bible, then you'll be able to see that when I'm talking about a virtuous woman in our regular conversation with our regular friends and the people that live in our community, the people that we go to dinner, just people, you'll be able to say, well, wait a minute, I know virtuous women. And then you will probably say, I don't know any virtuous women. I know some virtuous women. I do. And listen, a virtuous woman does not have to be a perfect woman. She doesn't have to be perfect, because no one is perfect. No one is perfect. But I think people are riding this ride that no one's perfect, and the feminist movement that has happened some time ago, and we continue to be on this ride of the feminist movement. I think many women have lost their position, lost the real understanding of what it means to be a strong, independent, virtuous woman. I truly believe that. I want to bring up first, what is a virtuous person? I wonder if anyone knows what a virtuous person is. I'm going to just pause a couple of seconds because I want you to think about that question. What is a virtuous person? Don't look it up. I want you to honestly search yourself, the data bank on your shoulders, and really ask yourself, what is a virtuous woman? Any idea? Let me tell you what the definition states it is. So the definition says that a virtuous person, the concept of virtue is the concept of something that makes its processor good. A virtuous person is a morally good, excellent, admirable person who acts and feels as she should. That is what the definition says by Google. And we know Google can make some mistakes, but let's support what Google is saying about a virtuous person when we ask, what is the definition of a virtuous woman? So a virtuous woman cares for her family. She is she's a hard worker. While she toils faithfully in meeting the needs of her own family, she also doesn't forget to help other needy people. Here goes the biblical part. God brings across her path those individuals. A virtuous woman also takes time to look after her own health and be a good steward of her body. So this definition that I just read to you per the Bible, and again, this is not Bible class, but if you're able to take something that resonate with you on a more spiritual connection, then listen, take it. Then that's great. It's excellent. But I want to take this little passage. The virtuous woman cares for her family. She is a hard worker. While she toils faithfully in meeting the needs of her own family, she also doesn't forget the other needy people. God brings across her path. A virtuous woman also takes time to look at her own health and be a good steward of her body. So when I was thinking about today's show, I wanted to talk about the women I am seeing all over social media. I am also thinking about the women that I come in contact with as a motivational speaker and life coach, right? This is not to dog women. This is not. And if you are sensitive about this conversation, then I'm going to ask you not to take it in such a very negative way, but I want you to think about it in a more deeper way. This is not about attacking. It's not about judgment. It's about really wakening up the woman, the true woman you desire to be, and or the virtuous woman that I just described to you. Let's just start with social media. So going back to the definition of a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman cares for her family. So when you look and scroll through any social media feed, anyone, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, just anyone, you're going to be able to find countless women who do not represent the first part of this statement. She cares for her family. I watch some of the ridiculous videos, and I have to watch it, not because I'm entertained by it. Actually, I get so frustrated looking at it. But I do know if I turn it off, then I'm turning off the information I need to have to be on top of the conversation I want to have, right? So if I didn't pay attention to what was going on in society, social media, then I would not be knowing what I'm talking about. It's just coming and having a conversation. That's not what I want to do. So you'll be able to confirm if I'm accurate about what I'm talking about by just going on social media and scrolling through just the feeds. You don't have to be on someone's friend list. Because people, oh my goodness, people's feed just populate your feed and it just becomes too much. It's just way too much. But you will be able to confirm that what I'm talking about when it comes to a virtuous woman and the first part of she cares for her family and say, well, you know what? Diamond is actually right. She actually described this. Or you could disagree with me and put it in the comment and say, I don't agree. And that's not what I see. Because I see it. I see a lot of women who say they care for their family, but yet they don't represent that. What does care for your family mean? Let's break that down. So care for your family. First, let's just talk about the relationship before the children. If a woman is not wise in her decision to pick a mate, a helpmeet, her rock, her significant other, whatever you want to describe him, if she is not paying attention how she chooses her significant other, she has already set herself up for failure to take care of her family. It's just true. You can't tell me that you are looking at someone who you want to be in this monogamous relationship or open relationship, because there goes another issue, but not judging. You want to be in this monogamous relationship with someone, and in this relationship with that individual, you haven't done the work. And the work is to figure out who he is. Who is he? How are you giving what you would describe as your all to someone who does not know how to show up first for themselves and also for you? How would you know how to do that? I don't think, I don't think. This is not an assumption. I'm telling you, I'm having conversations with women who are in relationships, new and old, and they stay in these relationships trying to conform into the woman she believes he wants her to be instead of being the woman she was designed to be. When you don't know who you're designed to be, who you're meant to be, what your purpose is, you will then settle for a man, let's give him that with some respect, a man who has no idea how to treat you. See, a virtuous woman who cares for her family is going to choose a man that measures up. He's not perfect, but he measures up to what her needs are. Now listen, many of us got different needs. Some people got this need, some people got that need. We just all have different needs. So one thing you might want to do is figure out, what is your need? Do you have an idea what your need is? Because if you don't, maybe getting into that relationship is something that you should probably slow down focusing on. I am no one's God. I'm no one's God, right? To become the individual I am, it took work. It took recognizing where my shortcomings are, not were, because as a human person with a human experience, you're going to have many pitfalls. You are going to have them. It's just going to happen. But it's about recognizing the fall, realizing what caused the fall, pick yourself up and get back on the path. So, if you are trying to have this monogamous relationship, the question becomes, what kind of family are you creating? Just look at social media. Because the women on social media, I'm going to tell you, just because you can procreate and bring life into this world doesn't make you a responsible parent. And when it doesn't make you a responsible parent, how are you caring for your family? There are women, let's call it as it is. So let's use Nick Cannon. And I talked about Nick Cannon on some shows before. So I think he got 6 kids. I could be wrong. Google it. You'll see. He has a lot by many women. And I questioned the women who gave him a child when they already had children. I don't know how many of these women were women who had no children. And that still does not give them an excuse. But he has multiple children with many different women. And I questioned the women who gave him a child. What was that for? What was that for? Why did you decide to give Nick Cannon, who already has children, it's not like he was harder for kids. Why did you give him a child? And for the men, why do you think Nick Cannon is procreating with so many different women? Because I would tell you that I believe because he believes he can. He can afford to. He's rich. He's not bad looking. And a lot of women want him. But why? Why? I mean, really, think about that. Why? Now, we're just talking about Nick Cannon, someone who's rich and just having all these children. But we have people in communities. It doesn't matter what their race may be. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they're young or old, because it's across all ages. Having multiple relationships, and I'm not talking about deep relationships. I'm talking about superficial relationships, selfish relationships with women, procreating and having babies. And many of these men are saying, listen, I don't want a kid, have an abortion. So it already tells you that he does not care anything about you at all. The first go-to is like, well, I wasn't looking to have a baby, but yet he didn't want to wear protection. And again, this is what I mean about men. This is also about you, but we're keeping the focus keen on women. Okay, let me not lose it. Okay, a virtuous woman is someone who is a hard worker. Now, when you look at the women on social media, would you say that you come across more women who are hard workers or are hardly working? I'll wait, because I would tell you that I see more women who say they are working because it's about the bag. Okay. I mean, you hear that across all levels. You hear that across all levels. You hear it from the spiritual level. Yes, in the church, they may not say the bag, but if you listen to the church, you'll hear some churches, it's about the bag for them, or they're saving souls. Okay, I digress. Then also, it's about um, your group of friends. It's in your family. I mean, come on. I want us to really open up our mind and think about what I'm saying to you. Please, don't get offended. I want you to think about this. Because if we don't have a real authentic conversation, real talk about what this topic is, then what we're going to see is a perpetuated situation where women are having children with men. These men don't really care about having children. They got this. I mean, oh my goodness. I've seen some things on social media where a person has 30 children. 30, multiple twins and with different women, but 30 children. And they're like in their early 40s. I think his first child he was 15 or 12. If we don't take a look at what it means to be a strong, hardworking woman, and I don't want to lose where we are about these different descriptions of a virtuous woman. Remember, she cares for her family. Secondly, she's a hard worker. And when you care for your family, you're going to always be hard at work because caring for a family is a job. It's a job. And it could be a rewarding job, but it cannot be a rewarding job for a woman who is burnt out taking care of 6 kids by 6 different men, which means you got 6 children with 6 different personalities and 6 men with 6 different personalities, right? Come on, people, let's get real. Nothing's going to change. Do you understand that young women are so comfortable going to the Instagram, and becoming an Instagram model? And listen, here goes that bag again, because you can become an Instagram model and get a lot of followers. And a lot of followers will bring, for some people, money. You can earn money that way. It's sad because we have lost our way. And I understand when you have a young girl raised in a broken home, and let's not just put it on having an absent father, but let's also say having an absent mother while the mother is in the home. And mom's thing is about hitting these streets and living her best life because she had so many kids young that she didn't have a chance to go out there and live life. So now she's still trying to live life while she's raising babies. And these babies, let's keep it about the girls, these young girls are seeing this role model, which for many definitions is not a role model for our future, believes that is the way to go. While I'm on that piece, I want to be able to invite any women to join me in a conversation and plead your case. I use that loosely. Tell me, what am I missing in this conversation that just does not resonate, that does not make any sense at all? And I will very much hear you out, and we can have a conversation to agree to disagree. But no one's at this point today with me on today's show, and there's no one here in the studio to have the conversation with. You're just not going to tell me that what I'm talking about is fabricated. It's not. It absolutely isn't. It's true. Children, young girls, let's keep it about the girls. Young girls are growing up in that environment that is broken. Looking at a female who is either a mother, an older sister, grandmothers. Oh gosh, grandmothers are out here in these streets with the daughters hanging in these streets. They are. And I'm not saying the grandmother needs to be sitting in a rocking chair, honey, rocking back and forth, knitting a sweater. That's not what I'm saying. But if you partying with your daughter in the same club, and I'm not saying you can't go get your 2-step on. I'm not saying that. This is not about biblical. I'm not here to have a biblical conversation. Although I referenced the virtuous woman because it makes a lot of sense to me. But I'm not saying to you that we're about to have church. We're not. Now, we have church. That was not what I was planning. But a virtuous woman is not a woman in these streets, again, partying with her daughter and granddaughter, wearing her granddaughter and daughter's clothes. Something's wrong, absolutely wrong, and we need to talk about it. Okay? Here's some other things. A virtuous woman who's caring for her family, is a hard worker, knows how to show up for others. And that doesn't mean show up for others in someone else's bed. No, that's not what that means. It doesn't mean to lay down yourself to be walked on by some man who wants to promise you the world when he don't even own the world. He wants to give you everything when he hardly has anything. There's some good dudes out there. There are. And some beautiful, and I don't mean cosmetically beautiful. I'm talking about beautiful inside out women out there. There are I've met so many. But why do we see more of the women who are not working, would not further her education, have no dreams other than what's in the here and now, had 6 children, 6 baby daddies. Listen, women, just the fact if you're using my baby daddy, stop. Just stop it. Stop using that. It's a derogatory slang. It's ugly. It's not cute. My baby daddy, my child's father, my daughter's father, my son's father. But how could you use anything else when he doesn't even show up to be in the position he's supposed to be in after he laid down and made this baby with you? Look, call me out. Tell me that I'm being judgmental. Tell me that what I'm saying to you is absolutely wrong and that this narrative does not exist, and I will stand corrected. But until you can tell me that and show me that, I know I'm correct. And it's not judgment. People don't want to have real, honest conversations. They don't. Their feelings get hurt way too fast. Why do their feelings get hurt so fast? Because they're not willing to accept the truth. They're not willing to take an inventory look at themselves from the inside out. Just because you can rock red bottoms, just because you can put on Gucci, carry Hermes, just because you can carry these items does not make you a virtuous woman, does not make you a sound-minded, goal-orientated woman. It doesn't. I've seen some rich people still aren't virtuous women. Dare I name names? You've seen them all over social media. There are people in your clique thirsting and hungry to be just like these non-virtuous women. Long ago the days when we had virtuous women like Coretta Scott King. She wasn't perfect. Betty Shabazz. She wasn't perfect. No. And there's countless women. Let's go back to Harriet Tubman. There's virtuous women who cared for their family, was a hard worker, put others first. Listen, just Harriet Tubman alone speaks to that. I don't know. But what I do know is that there needs to be a shift. There needs to be a great shift in our way of being responsible when it comes to the representation of being a woman, the representation of being a significant other in a relationship, the representation of being a parent, and not only a parent to children you birth, a parent to nieces and nephews, your neighbors, children, that with boundaries, but we are a village. This is a village. You were not born on this planet to occupy this planet alone. It's a village. It takes a village. It takes a village. And until you recognize it would take a village, and there's a responsibility to grow into becoming a virtuous woman and walk in that order, we're always going to be missing the mark. If you're having conversations with a non-virtuous woman, she can't teach you anything. She can just tell you who is with who and who did what with who. That's it. I like to surround myself around people. Listen, transparency. I know how to be fun, goofy. I just know how to do all those things. I do. Oh boy, do I know how to just let my hair down and just laugh up a storm. I've learned not to take myself so serious. But I would tell you that meeting a male, oh no, I'm not coming silly. No, we're not doing that. I'm not going to come to you goofy. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not. Because if you see me easy, silly, non-goal orientated, living on the system, having multiple children, unable to pay my bills, then I would guess you would say, well, what do I need to do for her? She don't want nothing. She ain't trying to be nothing. We need to understand what it means to step up and take the position we were created to take. We do. Women need to stop making excuses. This is not all women, but each and every one of you who will come across today's show knows someone like this. You know someone just like what I'm talking about. You do. And if you don't have them in your personal circle of friends or family, your social media feeds is full of them. I'm not that old, but I can tell you that when I would go out to the club, absolutely. I would go to a club. First and foremost, my first club I ever went to was a club that was non-alcoholic. You cannot find any alcohol in this club. What they sold there was water, bottled water, juice, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi. Those were the three drinks. Oh, I'm sorry, and orange juice. So apple juice, orange juice, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and bottled water. All the drinks, except the bottled water, was in a cup. And you paid for that. You didn't even buy a bottle. Why do I say that? Because I know what it is to grow up in an environment, go to have your good time. But I also knew that I need to respect myself. I knew that. I knew that I needed to respect myself. And I'm not perfect. I'm going to keep reiterating that. I am not perfect. We all make poor decisions. But when making a poor decision, the goal really is to learn from the poor decision. It does not mean continue the poor decision. That's not what that means. It means be honest, and honest means recognize and do something different. That's what it means. So going to a club, been there, done that, and guess what? Truth be told, I would still go to a good club where there's playing some good music. But I don't want to be around people doing drugs. I don't want to be around people drinking and don't know how to hold their liquor. I'm not there to judge that. That's between you and whatever. If you having a cocktail or two and that's your sauce, then that's for you. It's not for me. No judgment. But I would tell you that going to this place. Oh, you didn't have to. Oh my goodness, you didn't have to dress the way I see a lot of women dressing today. Girls, I think there should be something where you don't get to call yourself a woman just because you were born biologically a woman and have a vajayjay. I don't know if that makes you a woman. Because I think a woman is someone who is learning and growing and being her better self. There's a lot of girls out here playing dress up. But there's not a lot of virtuous women dressing up. It's just not. And I know that this conversation, those who will watch the entire show will be like, well, wow, she sounds very judgmental. Then that means you're not paying attention to the narrative of this conversation. What it is you're looking for something to challenge me on, and I welcome that. But I also encourage you to be open to what I'm saying, that we're living in a time right now that we cannot find virtuous women who are caring for their family, working hard, and represent her community in a good way. She's raising her children to be part of a strong village and not take over a village. Get where I'm coming from? She stands by her man while he leads. Now, just because you let a man lead don't mean you need to lose your position. That's not what I'm saying. A strong woman knows how to stand by a man and support him through the process and still be empowered in her position. Truth be told, she knows how to stand in a position, support him, achieving whatever it is he needs to achieve, because in the same token, he is supporting her, becoming her better self, the great mother to his children, to carry his name or hyphenated her name, whatever you want to do. He knows he has someone good. We just have to be open to this process. It's important to be open to the process, recognizing where we are falling short and do something about that. Take ownership on how we are raising our children and stop making excuses for the way they're being raised. You're the one in a position of raising your child, no one else. It's your responsibility to raise your child the best way. Not only to live in your home, but to end up leaving your home and become part of this society. Unless you want your child living with you for the rest of your life, asking you for money for the rest of their life, and not knowing how to fend for themselves, then I guess you raise your child the way you want so that they can stay in your home. But those children come out of the home. And when they come out of the home, they end up going into communities and doing other things that they didn't get at home. It's our responsibility. We have a responsibility to show up to be the best we can be. Raise a village. Even if you have one child, your job is to raise that child to be part of this greater village. Not lead other people astray, not represent themselves and their family and their community in the best way they can. No, we have a responsibility. Women, I'm going to need all my strong women to step up. Step up. Please step up and change what is happening. You don't need a man to do it. I know a lot of single women who absolutely did a phenomenal job raising a village, representing herself, and continue to this very day work hard. I know tons of women like that. Many. But sadly, a lot of these women are not being represented on social media. And I don't know the numbers. There's millions of people on social media. And there's a lot of people on social media that are doing good representation. And there's a whole bunch that come across the feed that are not doing it. And I'm talking to those individuals. So if it's not you, let this conversation fly and help me Raise the awareness that the virtuous woman we needs to take her position, and we can support her taking her position by being our sister's keeper. We can support women taking their rightful place by getting men to stop mistreating women and have a better and greater expectation of the women they decide to procreate with. I just wonder some of the parents who these men are taking these women home to meet. I know my mom would be like, wait a minute. And she's not going to act a fool in front of nobody, and she ain't going to do all that. But she will pull me to the side and say, what? Who is that? What is that about? He doesn't challenge you. He doesn't elevate you. Or if I'm bringing him in and she would be very much like, okay, well, wait a minute now. You guys are about to do some stuff. He could be working at Wawa. He could be working at, oh my goodness, Subway. He could just be working any job. But a good man needs a good woman. And a good woman needs a good man. And children need good parents. And parents need to be a part of a good community. This is how change happens. It does not happen by just one person. It happens by a number of people. Until people are willing to submit themselves, acknowledge the situation, want something different, nothing's going to change. So I'm asking you, help me help others by having an honest conversation. That's it. That don't mean approach her and says, well, girl, you live in a trifling life. That's not your position, because that's not the position I'm taking. The position that I'm asking you to take is be a representation of a virtuous woman. Stand with the village. Give her the support that she needs, men and people in the community. And women, stop making excuses for not taking your position, because all it ends up being is an excuse. And nobody wants excuses. People want results. That's all. This was not a simple conversation, but it was a conversation that needs to be had. And I know that it may sound judgmental, but it's not. It's not. Each and every one of you that's watching this show, you're going to pass away. Literally. At some point, you're going to pass on. But what legacy have you left for those behind you? Have you equipped them or crippled them? Have you taught them to blame others for what you didn't do? And I know it's hard. It's absolutely hard. It's absolutely hard. But you need to be the role model so that when they're met with difficulty, they know how to overcome those challenges. They don't need to belittle themselves by going on the gram, twerking to make $1, showing everything, all their goods, so that they can be accepted by a man. I'm telling you, there's something wrong. It's something clearly wrong, and we need to do something about it. Let's just start with the women. Men, you got a job to do as well. Step up and teach your sons, nephews, cousins, the men in your family, how to show up and be his best self so that he can be something for someone else. And then that someone else and he can then continue their bloodline and create this family system that will then generation after generation will be more richer than broken. That's what we need to do. Simple. Simple. Very simple. It just starts in your home. It starts in your home. You raise your children. It's not the school's job to raise your children. It is your job to raise your children. And you can't raise them if you're not walking right, women. You can't. You cannot raise a village when you're teaching your village how to destroy the village. And how you teach your child how to destroy the village is just don't hold them responsible. And why won't you hold them responsible? Because you don't hold yourself responsible. Holding yourself responsible will be the new breath for your children. Holding yourself responsible will cause him that he either has to step up, that significant other, boyfriend, whoever you're interested in, step up or get out of the way. Because this relationship is not going to work. Start loving on yourself, virtuous woman. Pay attention. I am looking to have that conversation with a group of women about this very good topic here. And I'm hoping that you will be transparent. I'm hoping that you will get comfortable in having an open conversation on this platform, non-judgmental, or share what you feel comfortable sharing. Ask the question you want to ask. Okay, ask the question. Ask it. And I'm going to do my best, and I hope people that watch the show will do their best to come back and get feedback about today's topic. We got work to do, so let's get to it. All right, my people, look, that's today's show. Very simple. Very simple. Very simple. Watch the show. Please post your comments. Please don't just skip the thumbs up button and don't skip the share button. Share it. Share it. Please share it. This is how we change our community, how we help women, how we hold men accountable, how we care for the children. This is how we do it, by the conversation I just had on this show. In the comments, I challenge you, and tell me if you accept the challenge, that you liked, invited 2 people, and you shared the content. I challenge you to do that, people. All right, that's it. Look, you can contact me at this information right here. It's very easy. Send me a message if you have something to say. I'm open to it. If you want to be a part of this show experience and you want to come on, you are welcome to come on and have the conversation with me. I invite you. I welcome you. The door is open. Just send me a direct email at voicesgathering.com. diamond@voicesgathering.com, and the website is www.voicesgathering.com. Come talk to me. Have a conversation, because I want to be talking to you. As long as you subscribe to this channel, I'm going to talk to you, because it starts with an authentic, transparent, unapologetic conversation. All right? That is it, my people. Thank you so much for being a part of this show today. I hope that you will come back every Monday, 6 p.m. sharp. We will start the show 6 p.m. If you're late to the show, you're never late. If you show up and the show is already aired, those are the things I ask you to do. Accept the challenge, and please just do that. And we will grow and reach our 1,000 subscribers by January 1st, 2023. That's my goal. All right, my people, thanks so much. I will see you next time. Be well, and remember, love one another. That is how we foster change. Bye-bye. See you later.